Chris Cole is one of the most successful skateboarders of all time. A 4 times X Games gold medalist, the 32-year-old American is also one of his sport's most eloquent spokesmen. Chris took up skateboarding aged 8. At 15, he'd resolved to carve out a career in the sport.
There's nothing else I wanted to really be. There's nothing I wanted to do other than skateboard. And I still find that drive of learning something new and that instant gratification of a new trick today, or that trick that felt good today. And it's fleeting, that feeling. And so you need to get another dose of it tomorrow and another dose of it the next day. And I think that's really what did it.
A few years ago, Chris and his young family moved from their native Philadelphia to San Diego in California. His current home boasts its own skate park, allowing the relentless pursuit of street skating perfection, for which Chris has become famous.
I guess I would be an obsessive personality. I do that kind of a lot. And because skateboarding became my life, my hobby became my life, I find new hobbies. I get obsessed with them for a short amount of time. Skateboarding was the only thing that kept going.
Chris is certainly obsessive when it comes to skateboarding. He has ADD, which is a blessing in disguise, I guess, but maybe not even so disguised. But because of his ADD, he's able to hyper-focus on something he actually enjoys. It does prove to be a difficulty in other ways, but that hyper-focus is so important. But all of that drive and focus and just love of the sport has really catapulted him.
Chris met his wife Red when she was 16 and working at a skate park back in Philadelphia. They've been together for over 12 years and have a son, Wyatt, and a daughter, Penelope.
We started dating so young that I wasn't even in the mindset of thinking about, is he gonna be a good husband? Is he gonna be a good father? And I had my son so young, accidentally really, but we were thrown into parenthood so quickly, and as soon as I found out I was pregnant, he handled it so well for me that I knew right away he was going to be an incredible father and incredible husband.
Aside from skateboarding, Chris's other obsessions include customizing guitars and collecting classic toys.
Where are their heads going? I think I'm very nostalgic as a person, and like I go back to watch old skateboard videos to get that feeling again. There's these toys out there that I had as a kid, or that I wanted as a kid, or that just, they bring me back. And I really like that feeling. And I feel like that the late 80s time period was such an awesome toy time period, in the early 90s. Such a cool time period for toys and for cartoons and things. And I want my kids to see that. You know how he transforms? Mm-hmm. He's very easy. He just puts his feet up and boom.
And then turn into a box?
Yeah, he turns into a little cassette player. You don't know about cassettes, but cassettes were cool. Cassettes were like music. And then eject button, and drop your cassette in.
At one point, Chris's guitar collection numbered almost 30. One of his favorites is a Flying V given to him by Alexi Laiho, lead guitarist with death metal band Children of Bodom.
It's a great guitar though. I really dig it and play it all the time. And I find it actually rather hard when you're tilted this way, because I usually look for the actual fret markers. And if it's not well lit in here and it's dark, the fret markers disappear because it's such a dark guitar with kind of a darker inlay, so it actually gets kind of tricky.
Chris and his family moved to San Diego for professional rather than personal reasons. Skateboarding originated in California, and today the Golden State is the epicenter of a global industry that's worth around $5 billion a year.
Life is good here on the West Coast. It's really cool, and we have a very blurred line of where home is. Home feels like Philadelphia to us still. It's just where our family is. It's where we'd like to be. But my job is extremely easy out here. We moved out here about close to 7 years ago so that I could involve myself more in the industry. There's lots of contests out here. There's lots of like little skate park content and signings and things like that that I just shoot up to, drive there in my own car, drive home that night, and a lot of times make it home for dinner. That made it very easy.
Skateboarding has changed almost beyond recognition since its beginnings in the 1950s, when it was little more than a post-surfing pastime. The roots of modern-day skating can be traced back to mid-1970s California and the Zephyr skateboard team, whose exploits were detailed in the award-winning documentary Dogtown and ZBoys. One of the group's most gifted riders was Tony Alva, who's widely acknowledged as being the first man to perform an aerial, a maneuver that's now commonplace amongst today's generation of skaters.
There wouldn't be any such thing as skateboard parks or anything, or vert ramps or anything, if it wasn't for what the Z-Boys did back in the 70s, because we were the ones that took it from just skating on flat land to banks to eventually going into backyard pools.
As far as like the Dogtown ZBoys era, I wasn't with it. I wasn't born until '82, but I wasn't like with it and in skateboarding until like 1990, and then what hit me below the belt was like around like the 90s skateboarding. That really hit me and defined the character of who I am. Danny Way's ability to skate everything hit me, and he would have these really cool video parts, and they were incredible, and there would be like half street, half vert, and it was cool. Like, it showed that you could be a skateboarder and just be a skateboarder.
Since turning pro aged 18, Cole has starred in numerous videos of his own. The film he's most proud of is the 2008 production Ride the Sky. Skateboarders have traditionally cultivated a rebellious, anti-social image. But that's something Chris rejected, preferring to promote the sport's positive aspects at every opportunity.
It's not a delinquent sport anymore. It just has good kids, and it has bad kids, but like everything else. But it tends to keep kids out of trouble because they have those little goals. They have these short-term goals, and they're trying to get at them, and they're always trying to get at them, and they're self-motivated, and they're very creative.
Cole's supreme board riding ability has twice earned him Thrasher Magazine's Skater of the Year award. Only Chris and Danny Way have won the sport's highest accolade on 2 occasions.
The trophy I guess I'm most proud of are these two up here. They're the Skater of the Year trophies. There's 2005, which is the year that my wife was pregnant with my son Wyatt. And then this is 2009, which is the year that my wife was pregnant with our daughter Penelope. So I turned it up for 2 years to make sure that I provided for my family.
Chris also won skateboarding's biggest contest of the year, the Street League Super Crown World Championship in 2013. Along with the imposing trophy came an eye-catching timepiece.
It's also huge, and then I can't take out like the links, because if you took out the links, you'd be like losing $1,000 of like diamonds. So that's that. This psycho watch.
Chris turns 33 this year and is entering the latter stages of his competitive career. In the future, he'd like to share his unique insight into the sport by commentating at contests, but has no plans to retire just yet.
I want to skateboard as a professional as long as I possibly can. When I'm done competing as a professional, I'm still going to be a professional skateboarder. I'm just going to not be a competing professional skateboarder. And I'll film video parts, I'll shoot photos and interviews and stuff like that, do all the things that I do, but just not do the contest part.
With his undiminished passion for the sport, Chris Cole is sure to remain one of skateboarding's pivotal figures when his career transitions to its next phase. Subscribe now to our YouTube channel for the very best of Trans World Sports.